school is going to be pretty cool if you've got the word green in it, specifically the green wave. Our guest here today, as of this filming, this is February 11th, 2025. Currently, he is the only Green Wave State Wrestling Champion. Sir, if you would, tell us who you are.
Hi, my name is Bryan Pratt, and yep. Thanks for
tell us
having
where you
me.
went to school at.
Yeah, I went to Meade County High School in Brandenburg, Kentucky.
And you're going to say the 2017 200, and I believe, 220-pound state champion? Is that right?
Yeah,
That's,
220.
I was going to say,
Yes,
I hope that's right, because that's what I've got my bracket research. So, man, you hear the names, the Meade County Mafia, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
I think I could be mistaken on this, but I think, doesn't Meade County have the most shoreline of the Ohio River in like the whole boundary of the state or Ohio? Is that correct?
So there's kind of like the Brandenburg Meade County. It kind of goes around a knob, but I wouldn't really say we have a lot of it. Mm-hmm. Never really seen, like in Brandenburg, we have one park that goes along the river, but it's and a bridge up more north, but I've never really been. I wouldn't be too sure on all that.
Okay, so, maybe I dreamed that before we started the series last night. I don't know, for some reason I was thinking I read that once upon a time. So, man, Meade County, they're a team that I associate with wrestling because I'm on the opposite end of the state, from you guys. And I think I've been to Meade County one time just passing through. But like I said, all the time see them at state duels, see them at the state tournament. Got to referee, you guys several times throughout my state duels and state tournament history. So for those not familiar with you and Meade County and the program out there, man, how do you find wrestling? How do you get into it? What's the driving force that's like, you know what I want to do? I want to wrestle. Well, how do you find it, man?
So originally, at the time, with our school system, with the way it is, elementary was 4th through 6th, and then the middle school was 7th and 8th. Mm-hmm. And at the time I was doing football, and the idea was I was a little big at the time, and the idea was I needed something to do over the winter time. Yeah. So my father had suggested, who had also wrestled in his high school, he suggested I join the wrestling team. And so we got and went to the sign up. And we went to, it's actually a pretty funny story. We end up going to the first elementary school practice because I was 6th grade at the time, and I was still in the part of the elementary school. Mm-hmm. And day one showing up, I weighed 240 pounds. Now for a 6th grade elementary teen, I'm pretty sure the maximum weight that you can be in the elementary division was around 230, 200 and not the 220 division, but it's a little bit, that's their heavyweight. Right. And when I got to the practice, I was actually at the time twice as big as the second biggest person there, who was only about 150, 160, and normal child size. So yeah. we had to end up going to the principal to ask if we could move me up to the middle school team and their practice. And being as how our team was, our middle school practice with the high school, so it was almost as if I was going to the high school practice day one joining. So we got her go ahead, and the next day we ended up going up to one of the middle school practices. And I got introduced to Coach Bob, and he introduced me to the team as well, because, this doesn't normally happen every day. And that's also the first day that I got my nickname almost handed down to me as a big baby.
Okay.
So yeah, I got that day one, and those who have been with me and through my wrestling career would know that my nickname was Big Baby, and I kind of lived that up all throughout my wrestling career, and I made a name for myself. I'm proud to have been able to do that, but yeah, that's how it all started.
Well, man, that's a cool story. I mean, it really is, because we have heard doing this series. I believe your video number 366 in our review series that we've done so far.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of interviews, believe me. And
Yeah.
I love doing it. Don't get me wrong, but I filmed and edited, done the research for every single one. But that's something that we're hearing more of from guys in your era, say 2014 forward. We're hearing, got into wrestling when I was in elementary school, or some people even said, man, I started in middle school and I felt so far behind because all my teammates started third, fourth, fifth grade, and I started as an eighth grader or a freshman, and they were wearing me out, even though I was bigger. I was like, well, yeah, that's wrestling. You learn technique, whatever. But man, that's great. And to the high school age kids watching this now, coaches, whatever, if you do have middle school or elementary kids in your or coming to your practice or have to practice with you or whatever, come watch. Embrace those little guys and girls. Make them feel special. Make them feel a part of your team, because that's your future. I mean, those are going to be the next ones wearing your school colors out there that you're yelling at. Embrace them. Make them feel special. Give them a high five. Tell them a good job. Let them have fun at that age. When they get a little bit older, then you can start kind of putting the pressure on them, but let them have fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let them enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Make them feel like they belong out there. Include them in team photos if you win the region or whatever. Let them just have fun with it. So you get in. Do you play football in high school and wrestle, or do you give it up, or how's it go?
Yeah, so I did football for the most of my high school career. We were pretty successful through middle school and high school. We were pretty successful in middle school. We got state runner-ups, I think, my eighth grade year, and I played it most of my high school. I had a little bit of a disagreement with our football coaches at the time, my junior year, about colleges and futures, and I won't get into that. But
That's fine. No, I get it.
I did end up not doing football my senior year, but I did do football through my junior year. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, sometimes that happens. It just does. Times change, people change, ideas change, visions change, and sometimes you just have to sit back and say, you know what, maybe this just isn't for me anymore. And if it feels, dreading going to practice or dread whatever, hey, I had fun with it, but it's time for me to move on with my life. Now, let's talk about because I want to, there's a certain point here I want to get to. 2015, as an eighth grader, heavyweight, you make it to the state tournament, but, we have that saying in wrestling, you either win or you learn. 2015 was a learning year. 2016, as a freshman, heavyweight, again, you make it, but you don't place. Now, 2017, of course, is this video. You guys saw by the thumbnail and all that. But you made the drop from heavy to 220 in between your freshman and sophomore year. Was that, were you close as a freshman, or did you just get, I don't want to use the word get more motivated, but was it just your body was changing and you could lose weight quicker? How'd it go?
So I'd say it's more of me not wanting to deal with the heavyweight region.
Understand.
Me, and especially with where I was located and my weight, I wasn't really, pushing the limit, but I was more of settled, a little bit in the middle of. And with any weight class, if you're just kind of sitting in it, especially for the bigger weights, you kind of need that weight. You need that strength to be able to really move the guy across from you. And I wrestle heavyweight as somebody who's doesn't have the body of a heavyweight. It's really tiring, especially
yeah.
when you start learning more and you start getting into more technique and you start learning more things and doing more things and wanting to do more things. Can't really do that all too much in heavyweight. There's not a lot of technique filled wrestling, I feel like. So I really wanted to learn and progress, my technique and style. So and not honestly just not deal with the heavier guys. So that year I really decided to drop down and make that cut. And it was rough dropping, like, I think I was around 260, 255 going into the season. So there's always a pretty good cut going that I had to deal with going into it. But it was a lot better, lot stronger people as well, getting down to those weights where the weight's more controlled and more of the weight is in the strength into more muscle. But it was a lot more enjoyable to wrestle at a weight where it's really your technique and strength going up against the other guy, and that's the best part about it that I enjoyed.
And I was going to say, man, you just missed out on the best 220 in the history of the state, Austin Myers. He graduated in 15. So, I mean, Austin Myers is on my Mount Rushmore of best just overall Kentucky wrestlers. And you used that. He had the technique and he had the strength. It was a perfect mesh for him. So, youngsters, if you are in the weight class of like 250, now it's 215, the Austin Myers series, 3 of his 4 videos are on the channel. And, of course, getting to watch Bryan's here and all our other 220s. But when you said that, man, Austin, man, like I said, you just missed out on him, man. I think that would have been a good match with you and Austin. But 2017, 220 pounds, you're a sophomore. Before we, dive into the bracket here, you made it 2 years in a row, but you didn't place. What was it the weight cut coming down? What was it that like got you over that hump of like not placing for 2 years to being a daggone state champion, man? What happened?
So I feel like it really did surprise everybody there. Like going into it, I think I was seated 7th actually. Like, and going in straight into against the second seat, I believe. We'll get into it when we touch on it.
We'll talk about it.
But you go into any match thinking that you're gonna try and wrestle to the best of your ability, and maybe it was that summer, that summer camp. We always went to summer camps over the Jeff Jordan State Champ camps, and maybe it was something I learned there that put that edge on me. I guess I'm not too sure, but it's always going to the match trying to do the best of your ability, and I guess all the stars just aligned that year. So,
hey, and buddy, and that they did. So let's talk about it. First round, you win a fall over Jack Hill from Woodford County. You win that in 1:17 seconds. Second round, you win a decision over Lawrence. I believe it's pronounced Malala from Jeffersontown out of Louisville, of course. You win that by a 9-5 decision, and Lawrence goes on to get 7th place. In the quarters, you're wrestling Jonathan Gregory from Wayne County. You win that by a fall, 3 minutes and 33 seconds, and Jonathan will go on to get 8th place. In the semis, you're wrestling Ben Fuchs from Bourbon County. You win that by a fall, 4 minutes, and Ben would go on to get 6th place. So you've wrestled the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th place wrestlers in succession matches. Not the simplest road, you know what I mean?
Right.
So you get to the finals, you're wrestling Colby Culver from Callaway County. Now, we're not going to tell you the score. We have the match video. We're going to talk about it. But what I want to discuss, too, in 2017, man, you come in 3rd place in the region. It's got you, you got to the semis, and I believe it was Trevin Wright from John Harden pinned you 2 minutes and 22 seconds. So, I mean, I can't say this enough to the kids watching, to the next generation coming up. Just because you may not have the best regional tournament or the best season or whatever doesn't mean that your season's a bust. I mean, you can get hot at the right time.
Yep.
You can come in and have a great tournament and be like Bryan. You know, I'm sure whenever you come in third at regions, you know, you're like, oh man, you know, this is not how I envisioned it, having to wrestle a 2 seed in my first match, but you know, you've done it, you won by fall. Is that pretty close, or how? Talk to us there.
So it probably lit a fire under me. Obviously, not taking any match, you would want to strive to do better than what you did prior. And yeah, looking into the brackets and seeds and seeds going into the states, knowing that he was the second seed, it really set in motion that I had to get in my right mindset starting out, and it showed. You know, just going there and performing to the best of your ability and preparing for what was ahead of you. So, yeah.
Now, Callaway County, I believe that is Region 1, but, you know, I don't want to say close, but closer than what where I'm at compared to Meade County. So had you wrestled him before this? Had you guys grew up together, or?
I'm not too familiar with generally the people that I wrestle. It's just another guy across the mat from you. So
I got you. Okay, no, hey, fair enough, man.
Yep.
Fair enough. Now, have you seen your match video? Has it been a while since you've watched it, or?
It has been a minute, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
This is, of course, this video that we have. It's the full match, but you know, usually we try to get the face off or the medal ceremony, but this one is just the match. But so we're going to pull it up here. Of course, there we are at the Alltech Arena at the Horse Park. Of course, you're in the green singlet there. Yep. It's always easier as a referee when you've got one wrestler in a green singlet and one with red. It's so much easier on us. I wish everybody
right
red green colors. That makes our
just makes it work. Yep.
You've got Garrett Pickle as your head official there, getting ready to start you guys off. So I think we've talked enough about it, man. Let's go. All right, so right out of the gate, man, you guys lock up pretty aggressively there. What was your go-to takedown? What are we looking to do?
So, usually my main start off, even following these years, was pretty hard collar tie, and if that flared their elbow out, they would go straight into an underhook. My main idea with that is any guy has a hard time thinking when they get hit. Everybody has a plan going into a fight, but if you get hit hard enough, then usually a lot of that might go out the window. So that's usually why I try to start out with a pretty strong collar tie into an underhook, and go into it's been a minute. But yeah, usually I would try and go into that and fight from there. But
as the assistant referee stands right in the way, the assistant for this match is Prince Willen. So he takes you down first.
Yep.
Don't seem to be flustered. Don't seem to be panicked. You know, it's part of it. And he cuts you.
Yep.
And you can hear your coach over there, Coach Bob. He's right beside the microphone or the camera here on this one.
Yeah, I could definitely hear him throughout it too. He has
the crowd seems to be into it. You know, you got the chants back and forth, so you can tell the crowd's into it.
Yeah, Coach Bob always had a voice that you could almost hear from anywhere.
Right there, takes you down again with like a head and arm throw or whatever, but you're able to belly out pretty quick. So I believe the score now is 4-1 with him on top or in the lead. Gets up, you get up, he get that leg back, trying to get that leg back. There it is. So now it's 4-2 into the period. Your choice, you defer. He's going to take
As you do. As you do. How it always goes.
You do a really good job here of, riding him. Because it's not the easiest thing in the world to do to hold down a 220-pound individual, when they're trying to escape. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when you got that much beneath you getting up to these weights, it's really hard because that's a lot of strength and a lot of explosiveness to be able to get up and punch out of. But
you got that armbar series going.
Yep.
I think Bob is wanting you to drive it. Like, Coach, I'm doing my best here, buddy. What do you want me to do here? When he hits the reversal on you, it's 6-2.
Yeah. Yeah, it always did surprise me how close this match really ended up being.
Don't sit there. Come up. So 6-3. Now, when he's trying to knock for this body lock, these underhooks, whatever, was the strength? You get your takedown there. Was like his strength? Did it surprise you, or was it like this is nothing? Or
it's been a long minute since I've wrestled, and I think this is before I really got into my kind of style. Way back then, I kind of just tried to, make whatever I felt and had work.
Yeah.
And you always have a large repertoire of moves to try and hit and make work. But I never really had a good way up neutral. I really, in the years following this, I developed most of my technique in top and riding legs, actually. But these earlier days, it's really just shooting a barrel and see whatever floated.
Right. Now, you chose down and he cut you right there.
Yep.
So I believe now we're tied up 6-6.
Yeah, getting here late into the match. Both been wrestling hard. We start slowing down a little bit.
Yeah, no matter how good of shape you're in, I mean, when it's the state finals, man, knowing this is it, you know what I'm saying? Your energy just goes.
Yep.
And he got hit for stalling there, backing up. You take him down, so it's 8-6 now, I believe. 8-7 because you cut him. I think that's the score anyway.
Yeah, I do think I just got it by one.
Nothing yet. Both guys are staying in the center. You try to shuck him right there, man. Try to get those double unders or get the bear hug or body lock, whatever you want to call it. Okay, and he called for a stall there. Back, not making an effort to turn in on that shot. Doing a good job with that wizard. Good wrestling. Nobody backed out. That was just wrestling, taking you guys out. He shoots. And that's it, man. You win by final score 8-7.
Yep.
What a match. I love the shot of the coaches right there.
Yeah, especially there in the beginning. I knew I had to fight up, and that just put it all more on me. And right there at the end, it was so close. He was almost half a second away from getting that takedown on me, and it really did a lot.
Right here, I love this shot right here.
Yeah.
That is pure joyous jubilation. Who's this gentleman right there?
That is it's been way too long, man.
It'll come to you. It'll come to you. So, man, but you win the decision 8-7 over Colby Culver of Callaway County. Excellent match, man. Two I would say equally skilled wrestlers. Both you guys, you didn't have to do anything crazy. It was just basic, fundamental wrestling. Get a takedown, stand up, ride when you needed to, defend a takedown when you needed to. It wasn't, wasn't flashy, but it didn't need to be flashy. It needed to be muscle, and that's what you guys had in that weight class. So excellent performance there, man. 2018, 220 pounds as a junior. You come in, let me go back and say that sophomore year, you finished with a record of 46-9. So that's a pretty good record. The junior year, 2018, 220 pounds. You finished the year 45-2. But man, Demorion Travis from Louisville Moore, he beat you with a 5-1 decision. So for those that haven't seen, of course, we're going to insert some clips here of the match, but that 2018 match, what do you remember about that? Like what happened? And
yeah, I really fell behind that year. I felt like in those finals, he got ahead on me in the score, and he just kept up that gap and made it larger, made it harder for me to come back at. And I'm pretty sure it got to a point where it was almost hard to even keep going. I was at that point where he was so far ahead and we were so far into the match, and I think he had pretty good control over me in the top, and I had a hard time keeping him down. So yeah, it was just a rough final for me that year.
And man, sometimes that happens. Sometimes you just run into somebody that is just a complete anomaly for the way that you wrestle or your style. And maybe you're not used to seeing it, and it's just something you're just like, whoa, what is going on here? But man, nevertheless, you finish as state runner-up.
State runner-up in the 220-pound weight class, Meade County, Bryan Pratt. Ladies and gentlemen, your state champion, 220-pound weight class, Bryan Pratt.
You've got one more year, 2019 senior, again 220 pounds. You finished that year 40-5. Now, I want to say to the kids that are going to watch this that are in school or high school, elementary, whatever it is, man, the first round You get upset by Sean May of Pike County Central, and he wins an 8-7 decision on him right out of the gate, man. First round.
Yep.
You're a senior. You are state champion. Been in the finals or 2 years in a row. I'm sure everybody in the building is like, "What just happened? What in the world? Is this a misprint? Am I reading is track wrestling wrong?"
Yeah.
So you could have easily just laid down and said, "I'm done. I don't want no more of this. Whatever. I've already made history for my school, state champion in the finals twice." But you didn't, man. You had to wrestle back 7 straight matches.
Yep.
You won all 7 by pin. Ended up getting 3rd place, and you won the most pins in the least amount of time award.
Yep.
That is pretty cool story. So talk to us, man. That match, that first round match that you lose, what's going through your head?
So just like you said before, with different wrestlers and different ways that they wrestle, and sometimes something being pulled out and you're not being used to, and I think that was a big factor in that one. And is not being ready, not being there enough, and expecting too much of a walk, too early into the competition. And I think there was a lot of things going on into it, and some of those may be in big factors. And what happened. I can always look back and regret on that, but what happened after really, did and should just make anybody angry. Losing a match that you really shouldn't have. So going forward, putting that mentality going into and starting those matches, starting hard and strong and angry, putting yourself in that mindset and really going after the other guy across from you. That really put that, every single match, and I think that really showed. Especially the 3rd place match. It almost felt like a boxing match between me and the other guy.
Yeah.
I think he split my lip almost the entire way, and I think I got his nose pretty good too. So it was almost every match. It felt like that. It's just needing to leave something on the mat and really taking out and putting everything out there.
And man, that's a good way to put it. Whenever you was in that 3rd place match, win or lose, it was the last time you were ever going to get to wear the Meade County singlet. Last time you were going to get to have Coach Bob yell at you like that. Still as a student, or as a student athlete, I should say. And man, wrestling back 7 wins. That's a lot of wrestling in 2 days. Actually, 8 matches in 2 days is a lot. But, 7 wins, all pins, most pins in the least amount of time. Incredible. So, kids, the state tournament, you may lose your first round or whatever. Doesn't mean that you can just, take off the headgear and be done. Like, that's it. I can't be a state champion. I've said in so many videos, other people have said, not on the series, but just, Dan Gable or any of your legendary wrestling figures, you may have an opponent, but you're not wrestling against them as much as you're wrestling against yourself.
Yep.
Whenever you can understand that you cannot pin yourself, you're the only person that can pin you is you. Now, your opponent might be stronger, better, whatever, but the only person that can really beat you is you. You become a different animal. That's no other way to say it. So, man, state champion 2017, state runner-up 2018, 3rd place in 2019, most pins in the least amount of time. You've done a lot for Meade County wrestling. You've done a lot for the program. I've never been in Meade County's gym. Do you know that they have like a banner up for you or anything in the gym? Or?
Yeah, we got the state posters with placements and all that. And I'm up there. I'm in our gymnasium, in our main gymnasium. So
that's cool.
I've been meaning to go back and visit and see how they've all been doing. And
Mm-hmm.
I looked into their like social media program, and I've like recently they've seemed like they've been had really large teams, and it makes me happy to look back and see back that it's the team you leave, and it continues to prosper and become something larger than yourself and continue to do well. And it really made me happy looking back on it.
I can tell you, I refereed Meade County a couple times this year at the 2025 state duels, and they had a full team. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They had wrestlers everywhere, and I want to say thank you to Jarvis Cullen for getting me and you hooked up while I saw him at state duels, and he was able to get ran into him there at the meet, and we brought you up. Like, hey man, I'd love to get with him, and he was like, you give me to the end of the day, and I'll get his number. And before we left, he sent me your number. We, got linked up a couple days after that, trying to get this scheduled. So I'm, thank you to him. And like I said, man, Meade County, they got a lot of wrestlers. I think they've got this year some wrestlers that are ranked. They're in the state. I don't know how they're. Of course, state tournament hasn't happened yet. Anything
Right.
can happen, but wish them all the best. So Bryan, man, we've talked a lot. We've covered a lot of ground. Anything else you'd like to say, add, take away? Maybe challenge Coach Bob to a 20-year reunion match in 2037. We could probably make that happen.
Yeah, he's probably still preaching up in Kentucky at his church too. Wouldn't doubt that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I'd like to say that in my years in wrestling, and even before I was up in the high school and performing the way I was, the entire time being there, it was a real family, and I think that's the best draw that I got of it. The community and the brotherhood of the wrestling team, and just the time I spent with the other guys, and definitely Coach Bob. Coach Bob really, I felt like rounded out and did a lot for the program, and I'm really grateful to him and everything that he was able to do for the wrestling program and all of us individuals as wrestlers and people as well. He was able to bring a lot of wisdom and taught us, both on the mat and off. He was a great guy, and that was the best part of the wrestling, is being there with the other guys.
Yeah. And that is something, man, so many people have said, no matter the year, where they're from, is, the bus rides to and from, or the camps, or, having to stay at somebody's house during, the wrestling courses in wintertime, but, have to stay at somebody's house after practice to get a ride back the next day, or wait on somebody's dad to come pick them up, take them home or whatever. And even to this day, man, I couldn't tell you the number of mat rooms I've been in doing the series, or living rooms, or people's businesses. And, I'll post on my social media, hey, I'm going to be doing some videos with Woodford County or Simon Kenton or St. State, whoever it is, wherever I go, I always try to post Christian County, Hopkinsville. And some people that may have wrestled, maybe weren't state champions on the team, former coaches, they'll come to our video sessions just to say hi to people they haven't seen in a while. They'll come make an hour or so trip just to say hi, watch some videos, laugh. Hey, you remember that time we done this? And remember that time we wrecked so-and-so's truck and had to get it out of the creek? It's just little things like that, man, that you don't realize that you have when you have them. And you look back and you're like, man, I had it absolutely made when I was, in school or wrestling, or I had it so good, man. And that's something about this series I know people feel such a connection to, is just about everybody can relate. If you wrestled, you have a great coach, you have a great support system. It may not be your specific school, but you could change names, change school colors, and it could almost fit every school in the country when it comes to a wrestling program, because having a wrestling program is hard. I mean, you're pretty much out there doing it on your own, as in fundraising, setting up the gym, having pretty much to beg for the gym. You're together all week and practice, and then all week, all Saturday or Sunday or whatever at a meet. So you just people that done it, they know what it's like, and I think that's why the connection is so strong to this series and the channels, because everybody can relate. They just love hearing the stories and watching the match videos. But guys, I believe that's all we have with Mr. Pratt, sir. Thank you for doing this. I greatly appreciate it. I know the Meade County Mafia is going to enjoy it.
Absolutely, yeah.
You guys call yourself Brandon Burgers? Is that right?
I wouldn't know anything about that. That's
okay, no.
That would be the first time I'd be hearing about that.
Okay, because I live, in the eastern part of the state, and we have a city here called Prestonsburg, and they call themselves Preston Burgers. I didn't know if you guys called yourself Brandon Burgers.
No.
Hey, if any restaurant uses that name, I'll take a royalty for that. You heard it here first, the Brandon Burger. I travel to eat don't you guys have like a jail that's got like a pizzeria in it? Is that right?
It does. Yes, we do. We do have that jailhouse pizzeria.
Check that out, man. The jail with the pizza. Give me the hard time slice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give me the maximum security double. All right, guys. Well, thank you all for watching. Greatly appreciate it. We will see you guys and girls on the mats.